Hello, my name is Mark, and I created this system to be able to memorize and to remember one thing from every chapter in the Bible. Hey, can you imagine being able to do that, or your kids being able to do that? 1,189 chapters. To be able to recall based upon a picture that you have stored right up here, no matter where you go, whether you're driving down the road or whatever, to be able to recall what's in a particular book and chapter, and to be able to talk about it and share with it and speak about the Word of God. This is great for families, individuals, churches, and really great project for those who are homeschooling. In this system, we're going to use Philippians, for example, today as a book, and we're going to actually memorize that book or one thing from each of the chapters. Since Philippians starts with the letter P, I'm creating a word, what I'm calling a peg word, that you'll associate with that word to remember what's in the chapter. So how do we know that peg word represents Philippians chapter 1? Well, it's going to start with a letter P because Philippians starts with a letter P. So every one will start with a letter P. And depending on the phonetic alphabet, the second consonant sound will determine what that letter is. So, for instance, in the phonetic alphabet, T is the letter 1. So Philippians starts with the letter P. So P and T, I come up with the word pita, like pita bread. And that's my peg word. For chapter 2, P, number 2 in the phonetic alphabet is the letter N. So put that together, my peg word is piano. P, number 3 is represented by the number or letter M. And so the word there is PM. So I'm going to use a clock because it tells me the PMs, right? And then PRR is the sound for number 4. And so my word is the picture of a peer. So hey, let's walk through real quick the book of Philippians. Philippians chapter 1. To remember, it's Philippians chapter 1. It starts with a P, and it's chapter 1, so I know it's P and T. Pita. So I have this is a picture of a pita bread, a piece of bread there. And in that bread, you can see that bread is in chains, and he's pointing to the cross. The cross is a picture for Christ. So Paul, this represents Paul, who says he was in chains for Christ. Chapter 1, you can recall that. Think about that concept if you would. Paul being in chains for Christ. In chapter 2, our peg word is piano. So in this picture, we have the picture of a piano holding up a star, a lighted star, and the word of life. Paul says that we are to live in this world as blameless, and we will stand out as stars if we hold forth the word of life. What a great concept to teach, huh? And you can remember that just by thinking of a piano holding up the light and a book to its side, the book of life. What a great concept to teach our kids. Chapter 3, in this chapter PM, so our picture for that is that of a clock. And so his mind, you can see he's putting his mind on the earth. So his mind is on earthly things. Paul says, hey, that's not a good thing. And he says even that we live as enemies of the cross. So we are not to put our mind on earthly things. Paul talks about how that plays out in chapter 3 of Philippians. In chapter 4, we have the picture of a pier. And on that pier is a cross, Christ, and with a little can sticking in the cross with an eye on it. Guess what that verse is? In chapter 4 of Philippians, you can recall, because it's associated with a pier, there's a cross, that's Christ, and an I can. This is the verse where we hear, I can do all things through, and it's through the cross, through Christ, who strengthens me. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Where is that found at? He's on a pier. We know the book has to start with the letter P, and R is our alphabet sound for the digit 4, so we know it's in Philippians chapter 4. Hey, I hope you'll purchase your set of books today and begin your joyful journey and join others in that journey as you recall and remember and let the word of Christ dwell in you richly. May the Lord bless you in that journey.